Hi, folks. Welcome to another Catch-Up with Mayo, Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m., a little earlier than usual, perhaps, but I'm here nevertheless, and I am looking forward to spending some time with all of you and reading your comments, talking about different topics, whatever it is, within reason, as I always say, at my discretion. And let's see, we've got people lined up already like Gary. Gary, glad you could be here. Yes, indeed. I love tuna with Miracle Whip. I like Hellman's too, but of course, I definitely do that. Miracle Whip is underrated, and I want to find Miracle Whip lovers. But yes, it's still within my diet, by the way, because that's what I had yesterday. That was lunch, a bowl of tuna with some Miracle Whip mixed in, and then dinner was a couple of a pork chop and string beans. That's it. But that's another channel. That's over on my lifestyle channel called Mayo Loves Mondays. So please subscribe. Ramoga, hello. Let's see if you play your cards right. Maybe we'll get a big dinosaur dance for you, maybe. Hi, Douglas. How the heck are you? Good afternoon, Robbie. Hello. How are you? Hello, James Farley. What's going on, James? And Harold, hi. Hello to Mike. And hello, George. Good to see you. Music for all 4 seasons. Check out the channel. Frankie Valley, big fan there. Matchstick Man, hello. Thank you for joining us. Yes, I did hear about this. Tommy Lee Jones' daughter was found dead in a San Francisco hotel. Terrible. I hate stuff like that, but it's part of the news. The entertainment world. Hi, Penny Lane. Thank you for saying hello. Why would I do George Harrison? Oh, why would I do Fred G. Sanford? I can't do it. It's people upstairs. What's going on there, dummy? Oh, man. Hi. Not feeling up for it. I really wasn't feeling up for it. Sometimes I just don't feel up for it. But I did it. I did it anyway. I don't feel up for this, but you know what? The show must go on. That's why I'm here. Hello, doing so, Rory, today. You know, I'm changing. One thing that's happening is I'm changing around my diet routine. Therefore, I'm not eating sugar. And I'm going cold turkey with sugar, so that kind of like tends to make you a little dull. For lack of a better word, I'll use the word dull. I mean, I don't know. So that's getting in the way a little bit. So I hope you people have ideas in your heads about what to discuss, and I'll bounce off them. Because right now, I can't think. Oh, I'll tell you one thing I thought of, Beatles related. Do you know, you always learn something new about the Beatles, right? You think you've heard it all. Do you know, I was watching one of those reaction videos where somebody reacts to Beatles, and they were reacting to the Revolver album. And the song Love You Too, the George Harrison song, was being discussed. And they had the lyrics. Do you know, I never knew the following lyrics. Love me while you can, before I'm a dead old man. You know, I never knew those were the lyrics. That's what it said anyway. They had the words up there. I don't know if that's right, but it said, before I'm a dead old man. Those were the words. I don't know what those words were. I always used to say something about a little plan. A little plan or something like that. I never knew it was I'm a dead old man. Let me put it to you this way. If that's the truth, it's not my fault that George mumbled a lot. You know. So there you go. Is Mikey Arugula going to sponsor a Beatle Fest for 2026? I haven't heard anything about that. I haven't heard anything like that. So I don't know what you're talking about, Blood Vessel. I don't know, but you got politics in here. I think I have an inkling what you're talking about. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll just delete that comment. Okay, so what Beatles or solo release should we expect first in 2026? I'm thinking Ringo's next album is going to be the first thing. That's what I'm thinking. Ringo had an album out in early 2025. He's doing a follow up. I believe that's going to be the first thing. So you asked for just one, so that's it. Hello, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I think you asked me about this on one of the last chats that we had, and I don't really talk about politics, but all I can tell you is, I don't live in New York City. You keep saying you're a new mayor. It's not my new mayor. I don't live in New York City. So, happy 100th birthday to the fifth Beatle, Sir George Martin. Daniel, I could not agree more that George Martin is the fifth Beatle because he played on the tracks. He helped. He was the producer. He really gave added a lot to the Beatles music. So it is definitely 100th birthday, right? It's something. What other releases do you think have a high chance of release this year? A Paul McCartney new album. Paul McCartney's new album has a definite chance of coming this year. Say definite. I think more John Lennon stuff. I think we're going to get the two concerts for New York City at Madison Square Garden, the afternoon show and the evening show on video. We're going to get the video of it. I'm pretty sure of that. The other thing, and I think Paul McCartney, the Man on the Run documentary, those are the only things I think that I'm really 100% sure of. There are other things I'm hoping for. There are other things I think may come. But yeah, the Ringo album, the other ones I just mentioned, I think are the only real definites. I wouldn't mind betting a little bit of cash, not too much, that we're going to get Rubber Soul by the end of the year, the deluxe Rubber Soul, but I'm not going to list it as a definite. What do I think is the worst Beatles compilation album? I think the Beatles compilation album, it's a toss-up, the worst one between the Beatles' Real Music from, I think, 1982, maybe. Beatles' Real Music, and also there was an album that came out the same year around there called 20 Greatest Hits, which had a reduced, edited version of Hey Jude on it, for one thing. Those are two that pop out of my head as the worst Beatles compilations. Hi, Cherry Carter. You like hot? You want to come to this side? We got 4 days in a row, 104 degrees and up. Horrific. 104 is a bit much. I'll take 90. 100. That's a bit too much even for me. Although, man, I hate this cold weather. Man, I hate winter. God, I hate it. Hi, James again. I know a lot of YouTube content creators want people to change their handles in the chat, just so it's easier for them to remember who they are. Yeah, well, it's a good idea to do that, I think, now. If anybody that doesn't have a name, that I can tell who you are, like Beetle Eddie comes to mind, but I already know who he is, but others might not know who he is. That's the problem. Okay, my thoughts on Hammer's Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. To tell you the truth, I've never given that one enough of a chance. I think it's a little on the dull side from my memory. I've seen most of it, and I think it's kind of on the dull side. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think if you see it. Hi, James. Happy New Year. Do you think we'll get anything from George Harrison's camp besides the possibility of a concert for Bangladesh? Well, with the Harrison estate, James, we never know because they really, really just drag their feet. And all they seem to want to do is repackage the same old stuff over and over again. I've heard Bangladesh would be one of them. But even if they put that out, that also is rehashing the same stuff again. I'm not expecting anything else. I don't know of anything else. I'm not expecting anything else. It's the only thing I've heard, so I'd like to be surprised, you know. Did you hear Sean's comments about how he's worried that the younger generation doesn't care about the Beatles? Yeah, I've heard that comment. I saw the little interview with him, and I understand why he feels that way. I also think that could have something to do with why they're kind of gearing their releases and being careful and trying to protect the younger generation. I think that's part of it, honestly. I think they're trying to make John Lennon more appealing to the young generation. I think, the Beatles to the younger generations. And we need the younger generations. Let's face that. I've said that over and over and over again. I'm perfectly okay with it. We need the younger people to keep up after the older people are gone. And, but I don't think everything should be, let's say, reduced down to their level necessarily. I think they should come up to another level. Let's put it that way. Did you know in the old days of Blue Oyster Cult, when played as a bar band, they played Beatles and Rolling Stones cover tunes? I just discovered this 2 days ago. I didn't know, but it's not bad to know that. The 4 LP Power to the People box set has not been made available from Amazon. Even my best record store can't get it. Yeah, I've heard that. Well, I'm glad they sent me a copy. They sent me a copy, a complimentary copy of the vinyl. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got it on my own. Probably wouldn't have. We watched Ghost Watch 1991. I don't know what that is. Made as a sort of real life coverage of a haunted house, made to feel alive. You could phone in. Apparently caused havoc at the time. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with that. Do you own any Lennon Claypool Delirium albums? Sean said a new Lennon Claypool Delirium album is coming out this year. No, but I've heard that they're quite good. That's all I can tell you. I understand that the younger generation needs to hear the Beatles in a way that appeals to them. Well, maybe they can make a rap song out of it. I'm just kidding. Did you get any albums or CDs for Christmas? No, it was a quiet Beatles Christmas. I did get 2 new John Lennon t-shirts. That's it, Beatle-wise. They could release Beatles for Dummies for them. Okay. Today I was cleaning out end-of-the-year paperwork while listening to Bing Crosby and the Andrews Sisters Christmas album. Sorry, but I enjoyed it. Well, I do like the Andrews Sisters, and I do like Bing Crosby. As a matter of fact, last night I was watching a 1969 episode of the Jackie Gleason Show, where they do the Honeymooners skit live from Miami Beach. I don't know if it's live. I don't think it's live. But anyway, Bing Crosby was the guest, and he sang. And I like some Bing. I do like Bing. I think I like Bing Crosby's voice better than Sinatra's, maybe, arguably. Okay, Beatley Tone said that the remix of George Harrison's Dark Horse album is finished, according to Danny Harrison. I hope we can get that this year. I didn't even hear that. That's great news. Thank you, Daniel. I didn't know that. And I don't know how I missed Beatley Tone talking about that, because I watch a lot of things that, almost everything that Beatley Tone does. So somehow I missed that. I think that's great. I think Dark Horse is a favorite, an offbeat favorite of Beatley Tone's. I wouldn't mind getting it. I'd like to get that. I want them to start doing that. I like what the Harrisons did for Living in the Material World. I think they did a great set on that. I'd like them to continue. Okay, I'd have to look at a list. Because it doesn't ring a bell here for some reason. I don't know why that is. Cheers for some more water. How sweet it is. Okay, I think it's time for a live Beatles 65 era release. They can remove the screaming with the MAL software. Yeah, well, we want a lot. There's all kinds of live stuff we need. I would not want them to ever remove the screaming. Oh, no. The screams are part of the Beatlemania experience and what it was like in 64 and 65. And to a lesser extent 66. But I still I wouldn't mind them toning it down a little bit, bringing the vocals so you could hear the vocals more, but keeping the feel of the mania and the screaming. What is your favorite unreleased John Lennon song? Well, it's hard to say now, right? I often talk about a song called "Whatever Happened To." It's unreleased. That's usually the one I say every time we have the question. I guess I guess that's the one. Hello, Laura. Hey, didn't they release a documentary about when John and Yoko hosted the Mike Douglas show? Do you know the name of it? Yes, Daytime Revolution. Yes, very well worth watching if you're a Lennon fan. Or am I imagining all this? Maybe they released the actual Mike Douglas shows. All of the Mike Douglas shows were once released on, I believe, VHS tape. I don't think they were ever released on disc. Except, I mean, you can get them as unofficial releases, But yeah, the Daytime Revolution documentary is really worth watching. Thank you. I love the Dark Horse album. Extra Texture has really grown on me in the last few years. It'll take a while for that to grow on me. Maybe when the Harrisons get around to ever doing Extra Texture, maybe in the year 2039 or something, whenever they get around to Extra Texture, doing a deluxe version, maybe I'll have a new appreciation for it. But right now, I think it's a dismal album, Extra Texture. I like Dark Horse better than Extra Texture. Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with this. I'm sorry, Douglas, can't help you there. There's a new dance mix of the Godzilla Boogie coming out soon. Oh yeah, I heard there was a dance, but I haven't heard the actual mix of the dance, but I did see the video. Okay. Let's see. Got the deluxe Dylan through the open window, playing all 8 CDs. Fantastic. Is that the new one that's out with the early stuff, the really early stuff? Because I'm still curious about that. Do you like Thunderbirds, the British puppet sci-fi 60s show? No, I don't actually. It's kind of creepy the way their expressionless faces don't move and stuff like that. And I know Doc Dacus often plays clips of that. And it's kind of creepy. Hello, Justin. Happy New Year to you. Thank you. All the best to you and yours. Thank you. Extra Texture should have been an EP, the first 4 songs. Well, I know a lot of people don't agree with me on that, and that's okay. That's what makes this world go round, right? Everybody likes different things. Not everybody likes the same things. There are people who really like Extra Texture. I think Owen Ling thinks it's the best George Harrison album. And he thinks, in his opinion, Cloud 9 is like one of the worst, if not the worst. But I'm just doing that for fun. Hello, if you're out there. But yeah, I do like the first 3 or 4 songs off it. I forget. I think it's 3. I like the first 3 or 4 songs. 3 songs, I think it is. Okay, people put down Extra Texture, but I've always enjoyed it except for the last song. His Name is Legs, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh. Let's sing a little bit. Should I do a little bit? I'm going to do a little bit from that album, okay? Can't stop thinking about you. But I open up my eyes, down. When I think I love the song "This Guitar Can't Keep From Crying." I love that song. I wish it was a little longer. Makes me want to hear it a little longer. And I love the song. The answer's at the end, and I like this song. You. That's it. That's it. One of the boys is a good. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's another one. Yeah. What happened to? I wonder if that's one of the boys is a good one. Yeah, but I'm trying to think if that's the same one I'm thinking of with Whatever Happened To. Like I'm trying to think which one. Keeps herself in the dark. Ended up in the bar. Heaven forbid, heaven forbid. I got to go on the Grammys now. I got to make my speech. Let me talk about my personal beliefs instead of talking about the Grammy Award. Yeah, award shows. Yeah. Yeah, one of the boys is a good one. She is a friend of Dorothy. Yeah, it's a good one too. I don't know if I sang it exactly right. My favorite George Harrison albums are All Things Must Pass and the self-titled George Harrison album from '79. All Things Must Pass goes without saying. It's a great album, maybe even the best of all solo Beatle albums. And the George Harrison is an overlooked gem, the 1979 album. So I just watched, actually, you pronounce it, I think Mask of the Red Death. A recent restoration. What a great movie. Jane Asher was stunning in it. Yet Paul is a lucky guy. Jane Asher turns 80 this year. It's a Vincent Price movie. You know, as much as I love the horror films, I've never been big on those kind of Edgar Allan Poe type movies that he did. Vincent Price, I know. I'm supposed to love them. I know. Apologies to the big fans out there. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you watching, sharing some time with me today. Please subscribe to my other channels. I got 2 other channels that could always benefit from some subscriptions. I really would appreciate that. One of them is, of course, my movie channel, Mr. Cinemayo. That's where I talk about movies, and I talk about television, and I talk about other things, autograph collecting, say, comic books, things in pop culture, fun stuff like that. And also, another channel is the lifestyle channel, Mayo Loves Mondays, where I talk about life and its troubles, where I rant about things that I can't stand that drive me crazy, that you can relate to, I'm sure, things that irritate me day to day, where I talk about what it's like being retired. I talk about what it's like to try to get on the right lifestyle of diet and exercise and weight loss and all that kind of stuff. So my actual personality, a lot of people have told me, I'm here because I want to watch you, Joe. Well, if that's the case, there are 3 sides. It's a trifecta. It's a trilogy. It's those 3 channels, the one you're on right now and the other 2. So please join, because you never know what's going to be what. All right. Someday I'd like to hear John's demo of Grow Old With Me, cleaned up with Mal, with a full orchestra. I think it would be another memorable classic. I think you got something there, Gary. What's for dinner tonight? Chicken thighs. Got some chicken thighs for tonight. I always liked Lennon's talking about Brian Epstein demo. Thumbs ups, guys. 64 watching, only 16 likes. What's with that? Please, everybody, give me the likes. If you want to hit the dollar symbol down there too and contribute, because I have StreamYard. StreamYard, I have to pay every month. It's about $50 a month. And, it helps every now and then for a little assistance. Not necessary, but always appreciated. And there's something to think of in the back of your heads. Don't do it because you feel guilty. Joe has split personalities. You never know. That's the thing. You never know what I'm going to talk about next. And it's not all here on this channel. It's 3 channels, which is kind of insane. And really, too many. A lot of different shows, a lot of different live shows. You got the Joe and Danny show. If you like Danny, have some fun with when we do a show. That's over at the Mayo Loves Mondays channel. We got the movie show. We do a movie chat show, the Mayo's Monday Movies or something like that. Yeah. And that's over at the Mr. Cinemayo channel. The one thing about All Things Must Pass was Eric Clapton and other great artists that made that great. Well, I think a lot of what made it great, besides the other artists helping out, is also the fact that George had been stifled for so long and had so many great songs that he wasn't recording with the Beatles, and the floodgates opened, and he was able to do the whole set, 2, 3 records. Okay, have you ever been to a Dylan concert? Yes, I've been to 2 Dylan concerts. First one was in 1989 at Jones Beach, I think it was. He sucked. I like Dylan, and I thought he sucked. It sucked. And then I saw him in 2013 at Jones Beach again for the Tempest show, which I thought was a lot better. I had a much better time. And Sean Lennon was actually a surprise guest at one point. just by coincidence. I have not gone to the store lately. As a matter of fact, I have a Christmas card over there from somebody who watches the show waiting for me, and I have not been there. I have not been there, and I just haven't been. That era is getting dwindling. It really is. Maybe it'll come back, but I mean, I have all the free time in the world. I was going to go down there today, and I said, nah. I was going to go down there yesterday, and I said, nah. So I haven't been there lately. Hello, Mad Team. How you doing there? Happy New Year to you as well. I saw Julian doing Day Trip Alive. Well, I think I did. It was long ago, probably the 80s. I don't know. That's something I'm not familiar with. I was actually quite impressed with Danny the other day on your movie chat show. Yeah, I had Danny up there to talk about some of his horror movies. Have not heard from BB lately, but I just, I see what she's doing online. I know when she's online, when she does a video, I'm subscribed to her, so I see if a new video pops up, and I know she's been doing some live streams. Yoko is coming up on 93 in February. Her last reissue came out in 2019. I wish Sean would finish the final batch. I hate incomplete sets. Yeah, wow, Yoko's going to be 93 in February next month. Okay. We got a little lull here for a minute. I thought Danny did fine on the movie channel. So did I. He's very self-conscious about it. Hi, Danny. I know you're watching this either live or later. And, he does his own thing. He really is into the horror stuff. By the way, stay tuned. I'm going to be doing more shows with Danny on it, with just showing his movie collection. Well, you have to be into it, but he's going to be showing his stuff. We might make it a separate offshoot program. When I saw Bob Dylan, when I saw him, was he doing any spiritual songs or just did old songs? When I saw him in '89, I couldn't recognize any of the songs. You know the deal with Dylan. It was just a joke. The guy didn't acknowledge the audience even once. He just went on and off and did a lot of crap and mumbling stuff. You could barely tell what they were. That was in '89. 2013, it was better, but I can't remember. Honestly, I can't remember the lineup of songs. I knew he did. I think he did "Ballad of a Thin Man," and I remember, and I know he did "Duquesne Whistle." Did songs from his new album Tempest, which I liked. I like Tempest a lot. I just watched the John and Yoko 1-to-1 documentary. Really enjoyed it. I didn't realize they were quite friendly with A.J. Weberman. I'm sure Dylan wasn't happy with that. Yep. I was listening to Anthology 4, and I can't believe they included I Will and called a 30-second clip an actual song. Ridiculous. That's my mini rant about Anthology 4. After all is said and done, you can't go pleasing everyone, so screw. How much songs are still released from John Lennon's 1976 to 79 retirement? Could we see a box set from this time period? Offhand, from my mind, I mean, if you're talking about released, there was stuff released on the Lennon Anthology Blue box set. There was stuff released here and there on different compilations, bonus tracks here and there. So it's hard really to say what you mean by released. I don't think there's a lot of stuff that's not released. Good, worthy demos, let's say, that are more filled out a bit. You know what I mean? But I think there could be another collection, maybe one album, a nice, solid album put out of them. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. Okay. Da, 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 da. I think one of the boys, going back to that song, the song Lennon demo, One of the Boys, is probably the one I like better than Whatever Happened To. When you met Sean Lennon, is there something you wish you would have asked him or said to him? I pretty much we covered it. We had a nice little conversation, and everything's cool. Nothing really. I said everything I pretty much wanted. It was basic stuff. Nothing, nothing else. I came across on YouTube a video of the Claypool Lennon Delirium doing Tomorrow Never Knows with Geddy Lee. I thought it was great. I didn't even know they existed. Shame on me. Yeah, I know they existed. At least I know that. Do you have an estimate of how many CDs and vinyl albums you have? No. I estimated my vinyl this week at about 1,400. CDs are probably at 2,000 or more. I don't know. I really don't know. With vinyl, I don't know. I want to say under 1,000. Maybe there's like 800, 800, something like that. I don't know. CDs, I don't know. Maybe around 300. It could be 300. It could be 10. It could be 1,000. I really don't know what. Really don't. Hello, Jim. Happy New Year to you. Do you have a copy of the Monkees movie called Head on DVD? No, I want one. I used to have it, and I don't have it anymore. I don't know whatever happened to it. Did that ever come out on a Blu-ray? No, I say it's definitely not on a standalone Blu-ray. I'm not talking about getting the Monkees, the full Monkees set of TV show and all this stuff that has the Head in there. I want to buy it as a standalone Blu-ray one day. Are you hoping for McCartney 4 or a full band album? A full band album. I like McCartney 1, McCartney 2, and McCartney 3, but I don't need a fourth. I think what's beautiful about those three McCartney albums are that it's a trilogy. You have one at the beginning of his solo year, one sort of in the middle or thereabouts in the 1980, and then you have one late in his career. It covers different periods. We don't need a McCartney 4, not because of lack of quality, just because I think the trilogy, in my opinion, is the way to go. So I'm hoping we're going to get a regular kind of band album from Paul. And I really don't know what to expect from this album. I keep saying whenever the topic comes up that I think that Paul took a long time on this album. This may be the longest time he's had between albums, I think. Maybe. Or if it's not the longest, it's definitely one of the longest periods, gaps. And I think he's trying to make it really special. That's what I'm guessing. Okay. Robbie, thank you. No politics, young man. But thank you for your service anyway. You know that part I'll say. Daniel, thank you so much. Daniel coming through again for a new year. Thank you, Daniel. Happy New Year to you, and I appreciate your well wishes. And I still rock the cup. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Thank you. I am a great spirit, even though it may not always seem like it. I appreciate that. Cheers. I wonder how long I'm going to use this thing. I have to use it because it's kind of iconic. Iconic green cup. But it's funny because my girlfriend might have ordered me something different. But we'll see if that comes through. I'll share that with you. But for now and for the future, as far as I can see, it's going to be the iconic alien green cup. Okay, what's going on, folks? Cosmic Colors. I think the solo trilogy is perfect as is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I agree. That's just my opinion. I agree because I kind of said that more or less. Okay. Hello, Curtis. Happy New Year to you. The video you did about the holidays being over really gave me a good laugh. Truth. If you don't know what that is, once again, go over to my other channel, Mayo Loves Mondays. That's where videos like that about life, talking about things in your mind about what's going on out there in the world and stuff like holidays being over and stuff like that. That's where the videos like that are, you know. It's sort of a rant video. If you like my rant videos, it's kind of somewhat rant like. It's a brand new video over there. Let's see. Do you find Let It Be to be a sad song? Let me think. I'm really thinking. I never thought about that. Let me see. I think it's bittersweet. It's a bittersweet song. It's kind of like it can be sad, but I also think it's about acceptance and moving on, kind of thing. Like I don't consider it overly sad. Let's put it that way. Not totally sad. The one Beatles song that I find really is sad is "She's Leaving Home." My Christmas ends after a nice dinner tomorrow. Oh, gee, Christmas is over. That's so last year. You know what I mean? Christmas. So last year. Hey, Jim, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Happy New Year to you. This is 672. All the best. Thanks. I appreciate you telling me that because I didn't know. By the way, good luck. I've heard that you have a little channel you're starting up, something like that. Good luck with that. With no Beatle Fest in the U.S. this year, it's a good opportunity for you to go to Beatles Week in Liverpool. Everybody wants me to go to Liverpool. That day may come. Yeah, if I was going to pick between the two, I'd say that Long and Winding Road is more melancholy than Let It Be. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Anyway, yes, it's a music slash film themed channel. I appreciate the words of support. You know what Rachel says, about there's no such thing as a bad boy. That's the whole thing. Did you ever join the sing-alongs at the fest? No, never did. Never did. I'm glad that the people that are into that have that when they was at the fest. They just get together, just jam, bring up guitars and sing. But it's never been my thing. Great idea, Joe. Do a GoFundMe, fly to Liverpool. The funny thing that I always think is funny is like if I ever did, I would never do a GoFundMe. Again, I just said words. I always have to think because never say never. Because if I wind up doing a GoFundMe one day, people will say, "I thought you said you never would do one." Here's the quote right here. On January the 3rd of 2026, you said you'd never. But the thing is, I think if I did, I actually would get some help. I mean, but it's the kind of thing. It's you feel embarrassed to do such a thing. I mean, when people like to just generally donate stuff here during a live stream, that's always helpful. But it's not like I'm going to get a whole bunch of money and go to Liverpool during a live stream. But what's your favorite clip from the Magical Mystery Tour? Well, that's easy. I Am the Walrus. I Am the Walrus is my favorite moment of the whole Magical Mystery Tour. But I also love Your Mother Should Know and Fool on the Hill. Those are my favorite musical bits of Magical Mystery Tour. But I also like the funny bits with Ringo and his aunt arguing on the bus. And finally, Ringo says, "I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it." And she's, playfully strangling her, playfully, whatever. I like that. You earn your money with film content. Not much. I don't know. You mean with videos? With videos? Just doing videos in general? Is that what you mean? Yeah. I recorded 40 hours of sing-alongs. from all my Fest years. They sound great. Yeah. I got a lot of audio cassettes in the 1980s. 1980s, I recorded a lot of audio. Beatle Fest, like, Battle of the Beatle Bands, Sound Alike contest, things like that. So I never play them, but I have them in a closet along with a lot of other tapes. No, I mean, if you did a GoFundMe, you pay for it with Liverpool content. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, true that. True. Very, very good reminder. True that. My favorite clip from Magical Mystery Tour is that brief moment where John hypes the movie like a circus barker. Yeah, that's good too. The beginning part. Very being for the benefit of Mr. Kite-like. Yes, I also like the scene. John's dreamt that. He said he dreamt that bit about shoveling all the spaghetti on the fat woman's plate. That's a very surreal, very John Lennon-esque moment, Lennon-esque, and I like that. Yes, it's another fun clip. So here we are for another new year. Can you believe it? Another year. I started this channel in 2012, and now I'm here in 2026. It'll be May. The anniversary comes in May. Yeah, I'm official. I go down to the exact month and date, May 23rd. Yeah, I know you didn't hear me before, but I kind of thought the Beatles as a group. I'm guessing it's going to be Rubber Soul. I have a lot of solo ideas. What I think maybe. So there you go. But I'm thinking Rubber Soul will make it. The weight challenged person's plate. That's the correct version, huh? I guess. It will be 65 years of new Beatles music. That's one thing I've always said. Since 1961, there has always been, since the year 1961, there has always been at least one new song release by either the Beatles as a group or at least one of the solo Beatles. There's always been something new. From 1961 all the way up to 2026, there's always been new product, a new music. Even years when it was very light, like very light content. There's always at least one record, one single even. I take 1985 to my memory is a year where it's very slight, but 1985 you had the song "Spies Like Us" was released in '85, so there's the offering for that, and that year's covered. Whew. And also, George had a song "I Don't Want to Do It" that featured in the movie Porky's Revenge from 1985. It was on the Porky's Revenge soundtrack, so there's two right there. Even that's a good example. I think that's one of the more light years with not a lot of stuff. Yeah. It would be a much more unpleasant world. At least we have the Beatles music when we want it. Fall back on. What's the song? The Lennon song, the demo that goes, so I don't know the exact words. Keeps yourself in the dark. Drown herself in the dark. Is that Whatever Happened to or one of the boys? I like both of those songs. Two things. Number one, I love that you will try and review solo albums or a new album review for this upcoming year. I watch this. Number two, I watched some older videos of you, and you're looking great, sir. Enjoy what you want. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Looking like shit today. Come on, but I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, I tell you one thing: we all change, right? I mean, I've had changes, looks changes in all kinds of ways the past 14 years. But yeah, all those things I said I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do. I know Danny said to me, you should be doing first time spins. Where's your first time spins video? Listen, I got 3 channels to run, okay? I'm doing live streams. I just put by the way, if anybody wants to see it over my movie channel, I did a review of Song Sung Blue. It's a new film about a husband and wife band. They're in a band. They were real life Dylan tribute artists. No, Neil Diamond tribute artists. I'm okay. Neil Diamond tribute artists. I like Neil Diamond stuff. Hugh Jackman was great in there. So was Kate Hudson. And at first I thought it was going to be, when I saw the theatrical trailer, I thought Song Sung Blue was going to be a Neil Diamond biopic with Hugh Jackman as Neil Diamond. He's not playing Neil Diamond. He's playing a Neil Diamond interpreter, say, impersonator. So it really was good, I thought. And you can check over at Mr. Cinemayo, and the review is fresh and up there. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So I'm doing reviews on the movie channel. I'm doing live streams on all 3 channels. So I'll get to this stuff, though. I will. Yeah, waiting for new Elvis videos. Yeah, like I said, the only thing I can try to do, I'll try to keep it in mind, Harold, over on Mr. Cinemayo, I'll try to do more Elvis movie reviews. It's not really that much of a problem because I have all the Elvis, I think just about all the Elvis movies reviewed already in a database. So I don't have to rewatch them. I just have to do a video on them. So have faith. I'll get them done. As far as Elvis content here, like new Elvis material, Elvis records, collectibles, I'm really going down on the collectibles. I'm not doing as much. Funny, really, because I said I'm going to do a collector's channel, and I am. Not a channel, a collector's channel, a collector's show on this channel. There's going to be a collecting show here where I'm going to have guests. It's funny that my collecting's going down a bit, but others are still up. Anyway, there's all these things to talk about. But with Elvis, I don't really collect much Elvis anymore. So if something comes in my path, of course, I'll always do a video on it. Paul would have been a teacher. George would have been an electrician. Ringo would have been a hairdresser. John would have been a wandering soul. How about an artist? Like a painter or something. Do you think you'll be going to the Happy Together tour with the association, the Trogs, the Cowsills, etc.? I don't think so. I've gone to some of those in the past, some of those things, but I don't think so. In this particular one. But it's a good question. Did you watch The Honeymooners on WPIX during New Year's Day? I did. I watched just a little bit. It's funny because even though I've got all that kind of stuff, I got The Honeymooners and everything on Blu-ray in my own collection. It's still fun for some reason to watch them on regular TV. As far as The Odd Couple, yeah, I was upset too. The Odd Couple was taken off or whatever. It used to be on, I forget what channel it was, but The Odd Couple New Year's Day run wasn't on. That's too bad, really.
Oh boy, you had a busy day. You should stop being annoying to me.
There were a couple of clips anyway of my own. Okay, LPs are too expensive to collect these days. Yeah. I mean, the expense, the space, the storage, all this stuff. Funny how Paul wrote Paperback Writer when it was John who technically was, even by that time. No, not really, because it makes sense. Because Paul wants to be a paperback writer. He's not already a paperback writer. He wants to be. Spot on regarding your very recent Beetlefest video. Yeah, like I say, I'm perfectly okay with there not being, you know, Beetlefest in 2026 because I already have my anniversary uh, is here. And I want to spend time with my girl with that. Do you like the Andy Griffith Show? You know, it's a funny thing is, I mean, it's funny. I like Andy Griffith. I like Don Knotts. I like Ronnie Howard. But yeah, for some reason, I've never loved the Andy Griffith Show. And I have on my phone here in the notes section, reminders, a list of possible ideas for future videos. One of them on the movie channel, was going to be, why don't I like the Andy Griffith Show? Because you would think I would. I like the old stuff like that, the 50s and everything. Happy New Year, Lemonhead, and also Happy New Year to Steve, FBS. What's going on, Steve? And are you looking forward to the Elvis epic movie? By the way, back to Harold and people who want Elvis content. When I do I'm looking forward to seeing the Elvis epic movie. And when I do, I'll be talking about it. I don't know whether that's going to be here on this channel because it's music related or it's going to be on my movie channel. But you got to subscribe to every channel. All right. Yes, I have quite a number of Bruce Spicer books. I don't think I have every one of them, but I do have the VJ book. Oh, yeah, they're good books. I certainly am looking forward to the epic movie, Elvis Presley in Concert, right? EPIC, epic, Elvis Presley in Concert. I don't watch a lot of the Monty Python stuff, but what I've seen I do like. Very curious to hear the new McCartney album when it's released. Would imagine that the new material would be tailored to his voice. I would imagine that too, that he'd be writing for his voice. He seemed to do that a lot recently, and most specifically for McCartney 3. Joseph, thank you so much, Joseph. Happy New Year to you and yours as well. Thank you, sir. Okay. Thinking of ending the show at 4:00 today. I'm thinking of making it an hour only, but it depends. We'll see how the questions go in the next 7 minutes or so. We'll see. I appreciate everybody that's been watching, that's been commenting. I also appreciate the people that have given a little bit of a help, a little donation here. I appreciate that always. You know. Okay, comments. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. What do you think was the best Capitol release of Beatles music? My favorite is in the lineup yesterday and today. Yes, that's really, you asked for the best. My favorite is the Beatles' second album. I wouldn't say that's the best lineup, but I think Beatles 65 has a great lineup. It's a better listen than in some ways than Beatles for Sale. Meet the Beatles is a great one. I think Meet the Beatles, Beatles 65, yesterday and today are probably the best as far as in terms of, the lineup, the sequencing, the song list, what's on it. I wonder if we'll get a McCartney medley to end the new album. You never know. He does that stuff. Okay, I'm not going to read this one, not because it's just a lot to read, and But I have nothing to say. But thank you for sharing that. I saw a show, I think it was called The Year in Music 1980. I'm disappointed that they named the jackass that murdered John Lennon. Exactly. It's exactly what he wanted. My wife and I did manage to watch the Password episode and the Role Reversal episode on Pluto, though I think they're cut too. They're two of the best episodes, both of those there. Yeah. The Password episode is with Odd Couple. It's just called Password. And the other one, oh man, I know the name of the Role Reversal one too, and I can't think what it is right now. I knew the name of it, but it happens. Marcus, what's up? I agree with you that the Beetle Fest flea market in the 80s was great. The internet killed it. I went to my first fest in 84. Yeah. There were two fests in 84. There were two. Sometimes they had to have two in a year. Sorry I'm late to the party. I hope the new Paul album will be a long one, maybe a double. I've heard rumors that it's going to be a double, but I don't know if that's true or not. Mr. Moonlight was one of my least liked songs years ago. I really enjoy it now. I've always enjoyed Mr. Moonlight. It's never going to be in my top 50 Beatles songs, but I do enjoy it. I think I saw Scorpion King, believe it. Is that the Mummy sequel? If it is, it sucked. Let me know. I might have seen that. I know I saw some movie with The Rock that I didn't like when it came out. That might have been it. I'm hoping that the next year the fest will be back and great. I loved the fest in 2024. Hey, look, it was great meeting you at the fest, and I hope there are going to be more. I think that if they do another one in 2027, I think it's a good year to do that because everybody knows about Sgt. Pepper and the Beatles in '67, the psychedelia and all that. It's a good time to start a nice, exciting fest again. Because it always seems like Pepper is always the start of everything, It's always the first excitement. When they release new stuff, it always starts with Pepper, it seems. So, yeah. Just a little longer, folks. I think we'll take a couple more comments. I just want to give you the plugs again. Let me give you the plugs before the next comments. Okay, please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I got other comments popping up now. I will read them. Just hang on a second, but I started already, so before I go. Also, remember that I have other channels. I'll make it quick. Mr. Cinemayo, that's movies, television, collectibles, physical media, pop culture, nostalgia. Then, don't forget, we also got the lifestyle channel. We've got Mayo Loves Mondays, where we talk about dealing with life, this crazy world we're in, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, talking about trying to get healthy, trying to eat better, trying to better yourself, stuff like that. So those are my other channels. And now back to the comments I said we were going to get back to. Okay, let's see. I love John's voice on Mr. Moonlight. I just can't stick that soap. You can't stand. Is that what you meant? People do oral talking in these. I can't stand that soap. What gets me about that, the soap opera organ sound, is it's only the Beatles have a gigantic career, right? It's one song. How long is that thing? It's like 10, 12 seconds of their whole song catalog. Can't you handle it? I'm okay with it. Well, I'm selling little things here and there, little bits of things here and there, but not the whole thing, no. I'm taking less in and more's going out. It's funny, like I said earlier, I'm going to be doing a regular live show here with guests. It's going to be about collecting, and I'm kind of like, my whole take is going to be that I'm kind of stopping a lot of it. Although there's always going to be new additions. I got a bunch of things here I picked up. Yes, hanging out with you and Robert S., I think you mean, was fantastic, as was hanging out with everyone else. It was fantastic. It was great seeing you, Joseph. Hope you can do a future fest if there is another future fest. I was fortunate enough to attend the first Beatle Fest at the now defunct Commodore Hotel back in '74. Yeah, very good. I wish I had been at the first fests. I really do. I hope the marketplace will be improved. That's a big complaint from a lot of fest goers. 69 in attendance, only 42 likes. Come on, guys. Yeah, I appreciate the likes when you can. Thank you. No, I did not get the Nuggets album. I know the one you mean. It's got some great stuff on it, but I never got the Nuggets album. And with that note, thank you all for joining me today. Don't forget, there's going to be other shows coming. This is Saturday, so what do we have now? Next show will be Monday. Will be the movie discussion show over on Mr. Cinemayo. We do that. So we'll talk about movies and TV and whatever else. It's Monday. Then we have Wednesday over at the other channel. It's called Mayo Loves Mondays. I do what's called the Weight and Wellness Show. So it's a new year, and I'm doing good so far. I started out the year good. So let's keep it going. Let's talk about how you're doing. So we have that. Thank you all for being here. You mean a lot to me. We can't have a channel without viewers, and I appreciate all the nice response here and all the people watching. So let's say cheers to everybody, and we'll see you off with a little Godzilla for Ramoga.